speculated last week there was a corruption with the file, so we actually didn't get the video out. But that was one of our topics, talking about the compensation. So,
yep.
As far as the compensation is concerned, like, do you guys think? So, first of all, 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick, right? Is that confirmed and official?
Something in that ballpark. I can get the exact compensation.
Yeah, I just saw 2 assets. That's all I saw when I saw the trade. I didn't really look into it. I just saw the contract, and then I saw what they got, and I was baffled.
They got 3 ones.
Yeah, 3 ones, a 2, and a 4. Last I heard.
A 3 and a 4.
Was it a 3 and a 4?
Yeah, 3 ones, a 3 and a 4, and then they sent out, or they got back a 5. The Texans did.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the Texans sent out Deshaun and a 5, and then incoming was 3 ones, a 3 and a 4. So, pretty big.
The
contract.
Yeah,
the contract's crazy. I think I saw today, though, it's the first
wild.
trade involving 3 ones since Herschel Walker. So this is like these trades like don't happen. Period.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy of his age, obviously in the smack middle of his prime at quarterback. But
especially at
the
that
contract,
position.
man. Yeah, the contract's crazy, man. So you guys can touch on it too. But I think initially he had like a 4 for 150, 160, something like that.
Yeah.
So the way I understand it is they basically scrapped up his old deal, gave him a completely brand new 5 for 230, fully guaranteed. Which is like, you remember when Kirk Cousins like broke the bank with Minnesota? I think it was like 3 for 84. It was fully guaranteed, and Deshaun's like, right now Deshaun's like, that's cute, bro. Check this out. So it's like the craziest part is for me, bro. Like, yeah, and not to mention, so he's making 46 per roughly this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this yet, Landon, but they converted his salary, $45 million of it is signing bonus, and he has a $1 million salary this year. So they basically helped him in preparation for a suspension. If the guy misses 6 games, he's only getting docked game checks based on $1 million salary instead of the otherwise 46 mil. So the guy's losing pennies, bro. Like, Cleveland did everything for this dude. Like, it's crazy.
So they essentially built in a loophole within his contract based on the unknowns of what could still unfold within the legality of his whole situation off the field. That's actually kind of cool. I did not know that. So that's good. That's good insight there. I'm trying to think of what else like kind of needs to be touched on for that whole deal. And I mean, the AFC picture with the quarterback landscape and not only that division, the AFC North now, but also the AFC West with Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert and Derek Carr. And now you got Lamar Jackson, MVP before the age of 26. You got Joe Burrow, played in a Super Bowl in his first official full season in that division. And now you got Deshaun Watson, who many people think is considered. The last time we saw him play football, post DeAndre Hopkins trade without a true number 1 wide receiver, was putting up MVP numbers on a 4-win Texans team.
Yeah.
With like no help.
Yeah,
so,
the guy was about to make Will Fuller an All-Pro. It was crazy.
Yeah. So good time to be in the NFC right now.
Yeah, and Baker still on the roster. Like, I mean, you're gonna get those. You're not gonna get those 3 ones back, but I mean, you're gonna get something for him for the draft. You know what I mean? You're gonna get something. I still think it's crazy that he's on the roster.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's crazy to me. Like we're probably gonna touch on this at least once an episode, just as far as the quarterback landscape's been out of this world. But like, just watching what Carson Wentz just went for after like 2 years in a row where everyone's like the guy's cooked, and he still brings you back like what a conditional 3 that can become a 2, another 3, and then and then they moved up 5 spots in the. I'm like, so like, you can look at Baker's season last year and be like, the guy was awful. Okay, he was also in a body cast. I'm not the biggest Baker fan anymore at this point, but he was playing in a body cast, basically. Like, I feel like every part of his body was torn up.
With multiple shoulder injuries and knee injuries, right? I mean, like, dude.
Like, the guy shouldn't have been on the field, probably. And, you know, he's playing to get his 5th-year option picked up, which I respect the hell out of. That's one thing he does have going is he's tough as nails. But, like, circling back to the point, you can say what you want about Baker. I'll be shocked if they, like, don't net. They'll get at least a 3rd. And like, Indy's the team that everyone wants to pair him to, and maybe Ballard and them are a little bit more cautious. But, like, who's to say they can't turn around and deal that conditional 3 they just got from Washington, and then the other 3, like flip those assets into, you know,
I 100% think that. No, go ahead. If you got to finish that thought.
No, I just think it's crazy. Like we call these guys washed and bums, and then like the league just doesn't view them like that because they're quarterbacks who have shown that they can at least play at an adequate level at some point in their early career. They're always going to net you value, man. It's just crazy. But yeah. Yep.
Especially if you were drafted where they were. You mentioned Carson Wentz, also obviously number 2 overall. Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. You've mentioned specifically Jared Goff, Sam Bradford is another example. Guys just
your draft status will follow you, man.
Your draft status, yeah, exactly. It takes you a long ways. Teams don't want to give up on that. They'll always take a shot on a top pick. But I want to let Sands have the floor and just discuss the whole Tom Brady situation, which was, I can't say unexpected, but
Sands, before you even start,
great news considering we thought he was looking at the quarterback position. He's like, mail it in. We're done till 2024. Screw this. We're done.
Hey, Kyle Trask. Sands, before you go, like,
Kyle
Trask. How long ago was that? A week ago?
Yeah.
How long ago did Brady sign?
Yeah.
Like
that feels like that happened 3 months ago, bro. Like that news is like completely like gone to me. Everything else is on the the AFC West has taken over Twitter. Like there's nothing else to talk about but those 3 teams like getting yoked. And I'm just
AFC West
Tom Brady
Monstars
came out of retirement, man. It's crazy. Like at the end of the day, all these storylines are about to hit on. It's probably gonna be the Bucks standing there at the end. And we're gonna be like, that's all cute. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the last thing before I go to Tom, on the Deshaun thing, you know what's nuts? He's going to get another contract with the cap spiking when he's 30. Also, he's going to make $500 million on the field. But with the Tom thing, listen. We're back. Okay. It's so funny seeing
this. I'm sick of this guy, bro, for real. He actually makes me sick to my stomach.
It's so funny. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm going, and the quarterback is so important. I'm just like, oh, Kyle Trask, oh, Blaine Gabbert, oh, just self-pity. Yeah. Then I get the notification.
For me.
And I almost passed out. I said, what? I thought it was a troll account. I thought I got trolled. You know those Adam Schechter accounts or whatever? Dude. I was like, okay, let me check 7 sources, and then I see this check mark, the blue check by Adam Schefter, and it was real. And then it's just so funny. Bro. Aaron, I was like, wait, he's back? I go from, all right, we're going to get a top 10 draft pick to, okay, we can win a Super Bowl again. It's just so funny. And what I said on my pod today, that's going to release tomorrow, well, probably when this releases, I said we have the best roster in the NFC, and now you add Tom Brady into that. Obviously, that makes us the best roster. What does our road look like to the championship in the NFC? Devontae Adams just got traded. We'll probably touch on that. You got San Francisco with Trey Lance, who played 1 game before he got drafted and started a couple games this year. You play Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta for your division schedule. They have no quarterback.
Talk about cake, bro. That's AFC East reincarnated right there.
We are just walking. The Cowboys have lost essential pieces.
The Cowboys. Hey, we got all the cap space, man. Hell yeah! Hey, we balling. We got cap space. We got cap space, baby.
31 teams have signed a free agent. The 32nd team that hasn't is the Cowboys.
Well, we have now. We signed James Washington and.
That was today. Look at that.
Today,
man.
That was the stat.
So, hey, Catboy dropping the bomb.
That's crazy. But don't
get me fired up on this topic, Hunter.
I'm just. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy too. But I understand not trying to win free agency and going crazy, but it's what. March 18th, 19th, and Dallas just made their first signing. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
we got cap space though.
Catboy Cowboys, I like that, man. It's got a nice ring.
And then another thing with the Bucks, I feel like it went just under the radar, like it didn't matter that Tom Brady got a former teammate in Shaq Mason as well. After we lost Alex Kappa, replaced the guard right when we lost the guard. We still have Tristan Wirfs. We re-signed Jensen. Ali Marpet retired. We'll get to that when we have to get to that. Okay, we'll get there. And then we have a trash can at left tackle.
My boy Donovan. Hey, bro. Who's
I hate Donovan Smith.
Who's to say that Ali Marpet? Who's to say Tom Brady is not hitting him up till training camp? And he's like, you know what, bro? Like, all right, I give you
one more.
Like one more. I
give
you
run it back, Turbo.
I'm not rolling that shit out, man. Because
me neither.
Tom is the greatest recruiter in the sport. Not because he's more persuasive than anyone, but because he probably just holds like a photo of his resume and he's like, "You went in on this or not, bro?" Like,
yeah.
You went in on this? Like, it's a coin flip for me to be in the Super Bowl. First of all, I got a 45% chance to win it, like in a total of 20 years. It's crazy, bro. Like,
it's wild that that's actually legitimate. Those percentages
legitimately.
Like dead ass.
Tom Brady has a better chance of going to a Super Bowl than Steph Curry does of making a 3. Like, when you put that shit in perspective, dude, it hurts you.
Yeah, dude.
It makes me upset. Like you know, we talked about the hot sauce
that actually just pissed me off.
Turn and flip.
Yeah,
that's
me when Brady comes back, bro. Like, makes me physically ill to know that he's playing again. Like, I spent 6 weeks as a parent was like, I'm good on this.
What makes me physically ill is going 12-5. Losing 3 of your 8 best players, creating a ton of cap space, and not doing anything with it. Like, what are we doing? We got cap space, bro, but for what? I mean, where's the splash? You know, you fumble the bag quite literally on who I called on our channel. Yeah, with Randy Gregory, I called him a $20 million player, which he would never get that contract because of his age and his production based on all the stuff he's had to overcome off the field, right? The numbers don't line up for him to be a $20 million player at entering his age 30 season. But you had the deal. He wanted to be in Dallas. Jerry had to go and rescue Steven to even have a chance at it. And Steven still had the opportunity via Randy Gregory's agency, who does live in Denver, by the way. So that's also another talking point or a connection. But
I saw that.
They had the opportunity to remove the language that only the Cowboys use, allegedly, which is their contractual grievances that are kind of built in, like the language built into their contracts as far as the guaranteed money goes. If you are fined, not suspended, if you're fined, you could lose some of that guaranteed money. It's like a protection for teams that, maybe signing an at-risk player or whatever. But every other organization operates under only you are losing money if you get suspended. If and only if you get suspended. Apparently, allegedly, the Cowboys are the only ones that operate based on fines and not suspensions.
I didn't know that. I heard that stuff being floated, but I didn't know it was fines in particular that was the one that was rubbing him wrong.
Yeah. And my thing is too, and so I've actually been in arguments on Twitter, and I was so close to calling the guy out and wanting to go head to head and just having a discussion live so we could post it because it needs to be talked about. It's the whole thing of, well, yeah, but Randy has off the field issues. It's good that the Cowboys let him go. Well, first of all, no, they didn't let him go. He bounced because you screwed the situation up. All right, that's point number 1. Point number 2. His off-the-field issues are no longer issues as per the new collective bargaining agreement in the NFL. You can smoke weed if you want. Okay? That's Randy's problem. Or if you even want to call it a problem. That was his problem per the way the NFL viewed it. It's not an issue anymore.
Yep.
So, no, it's not he has off-the-field issues. No, he doesn't. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
And you mentioned like Steven coming in or Jerry coming in to attempt to save the day. That's not the first and only guy that's happened to already this offseason. I don't know if you guys saw a little bit of D-Law's interview.
Yes, exactly. Case in point.
Like, Steven offered me 1 for $10 million. And like, you can think what you want about D-Law, like the sack production hasn't been there the last 3 years. You look at a lot of the advanced metrics, he's still getting double teamed. He still generates pressure. He's still elite at stopping the run. Like, he's still a really good player. And,
Pressure rate tells more of the story.
And I was listening to his agent on 105.3, and he was just kind of like, this will be the biggest mistake you'll make. And he told Jerry, like, you guys will look like asshats if you cut this guy. Because I got people calling him right now that have told me he is going to be number one on their board if he hits the market. And I don't think he was just like flexing on airwaves. I really think that obviously he was going to have a real market, regardless of the sack production again. But it's like, yeah, you get into, there's Randy Gregory, there's Lyle Collins, who obviously, if you follow the Cowboys closely like we do, Terrence Steele filled in admirably at right tackle last year. So they're obviously banking on that guy to take the job and run with it.
The top says trust issues. If you can't read that, I wrote this in 3 minutes, like probably 30 seconds. Once I realized that Lyle Collins was actually getting released, just jotting down some thoughts. That's a whole again. Real quick, back to D-Law on the agent thing. He was correct about that, about the market being massive for him, because the Cowboys are actually doing things shockingly a little bit differently this year than they have in years past, and they're actually having free agents go out, grab offer sheets from other organizations, right, and then bring them back. And the Cowboys are saying, they're just like, okay, go create a market for yourself, and we'll see if we agree, right? And that's actually what they did. That's why they upped the DeMarcus Lawrence had no guaranteed money left on his deal, and he just got 30 extra M's to come back. So let's not act like on the agent's behalf that they did the Cowboys a favor. It was a mutual thing. Both parties benefited greatly from this. The Cowboys get cap relief for this season because they're able to extend him, right, and spread the money out over 3 years. But also, DeMarcus Lawrence goes from $0 guaranteed dollars to $30 million guaranteed dollars. Boom, bingo. Both sides win.
That's the thing. That's the thing too. I'm always reminded, guys like Mike Florio do a good job at this, and he likes to play like devil's advocate, and he rides on the pessimistic side. He's really pessimistic, actually. But he reminds me, stop focusing on the 5 for 141 that Devontae got. No, focus on the 5 for 70 that Randy got. Show me the guaranteed money.
It's the guarantees.
He hasn't out the second it's up. So, like, what did Randy get? He ended up getting 34 or something guaranteed.
It was so the Cowboys had 5 for 70 with 28 guaranteed, and the Broncos upped it 5 for 70 with 38 guaranteed. So he got 10 more million extra guaranteed to go to Denver, basically.
Right, which 8 mil is not a small number to scoff at, but like D-Law is only 8 mil behind. Although you see 3 for 30, you're like, damn, that like D-Law could have done much better than that. When you really get into it, it's like he's not far off Randy's deal. The 5 for 70 just like it screams and jumps at you, but in reality, D-Law's making out well, like you said. It's a win-win for both of them there. But like Sands, if you want to get in, I just like getting nothing for Lyle, who clearly is going to have a market. Obviously, like you get a 5 for Amari, who I understand his salary is bloated as hell, but maybe even not so much now that all these, DJ Moore just got 20 mil per in new money. Like Christian Kirk got
the Christian Kirk deal.
Christian Kirk got 18 a year, like, and I know his isn't the big number that everyone saw. Again, they have an out after, I think he got like 30 something guaranteed, but you pay Michael Gallup, who is probably not going to be back for the first 4 weeks of the season. Maybe I'm hearing, but it's like
he's going to miss all the offseason stuff and everything, leading up to. He'll miss every preseason game, and they'll be lucky to be ready by week 1.
I'll say this. I haven't seen a team get this much worse in an offseason in a minute, as in just by loss.
Facts.
With no game. This
lost a
not
lot
trading.
Of contributors.
You're talking about, like Landon said, some of the top 10 players on the roster are just gone.
Yeah.
And
three
there's
of the top
nothing
8.
to
Three of the top 8 players. That's what how I look at it.
Yeah, and if that happened to any other franchise, and mostly it's kind of crazy. The Cowboys fans aren't freaking out. Maybe I'm in the wrong Twitter, but usually the Dallas Cowboys stuff pops up on my Twitter. Doesn't seem much freak out going on. But if that was my team and Tom Brady doesn't come back from retirement, I see half our roster gone. I'm not even joking. I probably see half our roster gone. And then you're talking about a full rebuild, which isn't going to happen with Cowboys, obviously, with Dak at the helm. But at the same time, you look at the roster, and like you don't have a lot of young talent out there, and the young talent that you did have is kind of gone now. You lose Cedric, who isn't some like star player, but he's a good contributor. Yeah. You lose Amari, who's still a young. Him and Calvin Ridley, I think, are the same age.
Somehow still.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild to believe.
Like, I don't know how to think about it, but this is why the NFC East is so fun. This is why no one wins it back-to-back years, because shit like this happens every year. They lose key contributors, and they don't sign people, or the Eagles injure 20 other starters in the first 4 weeks. And then, the Giants are the Giants. I don't even know what to think about the Cowboys. All I see is a team that was 12-5 just get way worse.
Right.
So
I think
the top of that thing that I held up a second ago that said trust issues. The reason why I said that is because I actually have that was all for a separate video that I'm going to make, and I want to have the discussion, but we can talk about it right now, and you guys can let me know what you think. The narrative. That's actually not a narrative. It's a fact. The Cowboys don't spend in free agency, right? They don't sign guys not from within their own organization, right?
Like the
trust
Packers.
issues. Yeah. So they're not the only organization that does it, but
yeah. That's also a cheap franchise, though.
I'm wondering. Yeah, it is. I'm wondering if some of the reasons why we don't see the free agent splash moves happen is because of some of the language that was used, and as we referenced in regards to the Randy Gregory deal. So now my thing is I've got to do some more research on that. I got to talk to Mike Fisher and ask, is this a new thing? Was this new this year because of the Cowboys say, again, it says he said, she said. So I got to separate real from fake here. But the Cowboys claim this is language that is often used and used for everyone except for Dak Prescott. That was the report. But Randy's camp said that this is something that they've never seen. So,
right.
But my thing is that the language that scares away these top tier free agents? Is that why we don't see the splash signings happen? Because of nobody wants to come to Dallas if they're going to lose all their guaranteed money if they get a single fine.
Mostly with how they're finding people now for hits and shit.
Right. So you got to get suspended before you get fined anywhere else, before you lose that guaranteed money anywhere else. But not in Dallas. You only have to get fined. And the league, who's to control the league? The league, there's no real delegation. The NFL can fine players for, wearing the wrong socks on a game day or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know how delicate that verbiage is, but that's immediately where my brain goes.
It has to be
Cowboys
somewhat.
have trust issue. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because agents talk and players are going to talk about that.
That's what I was
throughout the league.
100%.
I feel like it goes beyond contract language. I just think if you're an agent and a player, and you listen to D-Law's interview, and you're like,
yeah,
if you can treat, I don't know if you want to call him a franchise icon, he's been a steady force for Dallas for as long as he's been there.
He is.
If they're gonna treat this guy like that, and my client is clearly not on the same tier, what are they gonna do to my guy?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
you know what I mean, it's kind of
that's where guys have to understand. At the end of the day, it is a business. So I don't know.
Right, but
I think that's the clash of heads with Steven and Jerry.
Yeah, and it's all
there is.
It's a
Thank you for saying that.
It's it's an industry built on relationships. I don't know if you guys saw Brandon Beane, the Bills GM. He was pissed about a signing as small in air quotes as J.D. McKissick. He went on a minute and a half, 2-minute rant today with some reporters talking about how they had signed J.D. McKissick to a 2-year deal worth $7 million, and he was like, normally in this industry, it's accepted, and I love his agent, and he listed 2 agents by name that were working for J.D. McKissick. And he was like, I really respect these guys, and they did their job. And he was like, normally in this industry, when the agent tells a team that they're going there, the other teams are supposed to back off. Washington missed its window, basically, is what he was saying. There's an unwritten rule where the other team is not I'm not saying you can't counter. He wasn't getting at that, but it was kind of they had gone back and forth, and it
you
seemed
can't
it
legally tamper.
Yeah, it seemed like it was really a done deal, and then Washington.
He
was really upset about Washington coming back in, implying that it was a shady thing that teams are not supposed to do. So, and he was kind of we're gonna remember that. That's probably gonna decrease the likelihood that we ever make a deal with Washington, and you never know when something like that they're gonna need that. So I just thought that was interesting, man.
Oh, but to that Jerry and Steven Jones point,
that is actually hella interesting. Yes,
I didn't want to. I don't want to rant on it. We can go to a different topic, but I just think it's crazy that it's almost like Jerry wants to take care of the guys that he gets, right?
Yeah.
It's almost every time, like Greg Hardy, he's the second chance guy. The bad kid on the block, he'll take him under his wing, sign him for a prove-it deal, see if he can play. And Stephen Jones, to me, the reason they call him Cat Boy, I don't know why they call him that, but if my interpretation is, now I see this guy who's almost trying to show, like, I'm the GM. I'm trying to do the Belichick thing. I'm cutting people before it's a year too late. I'm doing it a year early.
Yeah.
And it ain't working well with Jerry.
Yeah, they definitely.
It ain't working well.
It's good cop, bad cop, and Jerry is pissed. He is.
Yeah.
He is pissed.
A lot of bad closed-door meetings for Steven.
It's like, yeah, it's like he's playing hardball, but for what? And again, we'll put this in the ground for tonight if you guys want after this. But I just wanted to get this off my chest too. The Lyle Collins thing. The reason why I'm so frustrated, and I'm not skies falling guy right now. Okay, still a lot of talent on this roster. We're hitting on our draft picks. Will McClay's doing a fantastic job in that front office. There is some weird stuff happening right now between Jerry and Steven. It's a weird good cop, bad cop relationship, and I don't understand it. I don't know if I ever will. But the Lyle Collins thing, right? There's a fractured relationship there. I watched on Thanksgiving Day at AT&T Stadium. I was at the game, 5 rows up. It's not a flex. I got tickets through a friend of a friend who had company, whatever.
Yeah.
My whole goal of that was to watch what's going on the sideline, right? Because there was all kinds of weird stuff happening. Amari didn't play in that game. I wanted to see the energy of CeeDee Lamb. What was the leadership like at Dak? I just like to pay attention to all that stuff, right?
Stuff
and then
you can't see on TV also.
Exactly, yeah. And so Terrence Steele and Lyle Collins were both active for the first time that game. That was like week 9, I want to say. And Lyle Collins, fresh off the 5-game suspension from paying the dude, trying to pay the guy behind the scenes to fake his piss test or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they're cycling in at right tackle. And I'm like, well, the number one thing you want with 5 offensive linemen is continuity. You want those guys to work well together. And prior to showing up to training camp, overweight and fat and out of shape the year before, Lyle Collins, and he had the hip injury and didn't even play a snap and had the season-ending surgery. So that's back-to-back seasons where you're fracturing a relationship and showing your, for lack of a better term, air quote, immaturity. Okay, so I understand an organization wanting to move on and replace you with a guy that they feel great about and that they're confident in as far as a team guy. Terrence Steele, he did a great job. The Cowboys were actually undefeated with him starting in Lyle Collins' absence. Okay, my thing is, here's where's the disconnection is for me as a fan. You're creating all this cap space. You let Lyle Collins go. You post June 1 designate him, which means essentially, in Langman's terms, is you're spreading out his cap hit after cutting him over 2 seasons. It's kind of it's a loophole that teams can exploit. Even if you don't cut him until after June 1, you can do it now and designate him post June 1 to spread out the cap hit. But so the Cowboys created $10 million of cap space by doing this. But they're also going to eat Lyle Collins' dead money next year too because of the same reason. Right. So if you why don't you just cut him outright and not post June 1 designate him and just eat all the money now if you're not going to go and spend all the money anyway in free agency? What are you spending all this money on that you're creating? That's my disconnection. Where is the improvement? If you can pitch me addition by subtraction if he's really that big of a distraction for whatever reason off the field, if it's that big of a deal. Right. But the talent can't be denied. He was a top 10 player at his position 2 years ago. He's not even 28. So where's the compensation? Show me something, Stephen Jones. Like, give me a 3rd round pick, or cut him this year and just show me that this is we're getting this shit out of the way and we're moving on next season. Bam, back to reality, whatever. But you're creating cap space for what? That's my question. Yeah. I can't answer it.
That's the thing. Like Sands was saying earlier. We can wrap it up here, but Sam's was talking about, how much worse the team has gotten, and it's like he said he didn't see a lot of Cowboys fans freaking out, whereas like I'm starting to, because at first it's like, okay, you dump Amari, like you can very easily rationalize it, right? You're like, he's making $20 million, like if the offense, his target share is way down, if we're not going to use him like that, like let's get it off the books. We open up all that room. Let's go make a run at some guys. Let's go make a run at Von Miller, like maybe he wants to come home. But then you see all these guys, Vaughn signs at Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like, these different top-tier free agents who the Randy thing falls through, and it's like, oh, maybe we can replace him with Vaughn, and then it's like, oh, Vaughn walks to Buffalo. Oh, look, we re-signed Dorrance Armstrong, guys. Like, here we go. Like, we're making moves, and it's like you're not really inspiring confidence. To your point, like, your cap space galore. And free agency's young, you know? Like, all it's going to take, honestly, with the fan base and Twitter heads is, like, you sign a 31, 32-year-old Bobby Wagner, and everyone's going to be like, boom. Like, we're good. Move Mike at edge. Let Bobby patrol the middle. Like, we're rolling. Like, it can completely undo all the negatives that you did, because that's how the fans work. Like, we get quick-ass highs off moves that they're not even that big. Like, you listen to – shout out to Clay. Like, you listen to Clay in the chat. Everyone that Dallas signs, he's like, oh, I really like this guy. Like, he's good. And then Dallas today signed James Washington, Sands. He was like, I honestly feel like he's just as good, if not better than Juju. He just, like, hasn't gotten an opportunity. And I'm like, let's slow down, man. Like, I'm just like, you know, like, let's slow down a little bit. But, you know, the point I'm getting at is the fans are itching for something to get excited about, man. Like, Eagles fans are already turning again, because it feels like we signed Hassan Reddick 3 months ago, and everyone's like, Howie, what are you doing? And these safeties are flying off the market, and it's like, where's the next move, man? Like, we're irresponsible about wanting stuff now, but in the Cowboys situation, I feel like it's very real, because you've got a ton of money, and you're a franchise that won 12 games in a shitty division with a clear path to repeat, and all you need is home field in the playoffs. Just get in, and then you've got a really good chance. And Dallas is not really doing anything to capitalize on that, especially with the state of the NFC. Like, it's kind of crazy. I was about to say, all the NFC top talents going to the AFC. Like, now's the time. Like, you're looking at Tampa and the Rams, you know, and Green Bay's still going to be nice, but they're down Devontae Adams. It's just like, you think that these windows are going to stay there forever, man, and they don't. They just don't. Like, look at this offseason. A year ago, who would have expected this? There was talk about, like, this is the offseason, you can get out of Amari. That makes sense, but they would never have expected Randy to walk. D-Law almost got away. Like, Lyle Collins. You're losing, to Sands' point, and both your points, like, 3 of their top 8 players, I think you said. Real freaking talent out there, man. Yeah. And I would just be concerned as hell. I'd be pissed off, quite frankly, if I was Cowboys fan. Oh, I am pissed off. And it's funny, too, because Sands, I heard he mentioned, Well, but it's funny how the algorithm works on Twitter, right? He's not, for whatever reason, the people that he associates with aren't pushing Cowboys negativity to his timeline. Whereas me, on the other hand, I guess it's just the people that I'm associating with. It does feel like the sky is falling, and people are pissed off. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, and I'll admit, I follow the Dallas Cowboys as a topic on Twitter. Me too. I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but, I want to stay plugged in. I didn't see a lot, they're in my division. All my friends are Cowboys fans. Like, I want to see all their stuff, too, so. They've been kind of up in arms a little bit lately. They've been the wheels are coming off a little bit. So, but I don't know, man. So, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, Sans? Not really, man. I'm just letting you get on your rant shit and letting y'all get off. I had to get that off my chest. To listen, man. The emotion. I've just been chilling. I'm cooling. Yeah. I know Chris did mention off air his free agent winners and losers, and I'm actually going to go grab some water real quick, and I'll be right back. But if you want to take it from there, Chris, okay, I think that's a great place to go. Yeah. So, Sans, you want to hit on winners or losers first? You know what? Let's hit losers, man. I like starting low and then ending on a high note. Absolutely. I don't want to beat this one into the ground because I've got Dallas at 1, so it's like. I mean, we just covered that, man. Like, Lyell gone, Randy Gregory gone. Today they actually signed Dante Fowler as well today. Who I don't care about him. I'm sorry, no offense. Nobody's gotten real production out of him besides the Rams for 1 year. You want to once again, Aaron draft placement wherever you get drafted matters. Yes, Dante Fowler's been riding that for a long time, man. Yeah, like when the Atlanta Falcons cut you, bro, and you're a pass rusher, you just might not have it, bro. Yeah, dude, you might just be trash. So yeah, they got Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong. Those guys aren't raising any ears. They got James Washington, but yeah, I won't hit on that. Amari, Lyell, Randy Gregory's gone. Gallup's going to be out a while. Cedric Wilson, say what you want, he's not a stub. But to your point, it's a solid ass number 3. Yeah, just like Russell Gage. Like we got Russell Gage. Like there are times over the last 4 years where Ced might have been our number 1. Like no joke, he might have been our number 1. Like that's where I was at. I'd see glimpses of Noah Brown. I'd be like. That guy can play, man. He's our like 2. Come on over. Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah, I would say we can skip Dallas, but the Saints, and I know you'll love to hit on this. The the number 2 loser for me in free agency was the Saints. We can talk about Teron Armstead, who hasn't gone anywhere, so I guess they haven't officially lost him yet. But everything I read and heard was he was waiting to see if Watson went to the Saints before.
Oh, in Baton Rouge, bro, they're like, we're screwed. Our franchise is done. We're going 2-15.
Marcus Williams, the Minnesota Miracle play aside, he's actually a damn good safety.
That was a big loss.
He was probably the number 1 guy on my personal free agency wish list as an Eagles fan. I heard our offer was competitive, but anyways, Baltimore gets him for $14 million a year. Those 2 are big enough losses in its own, and I kind of consider Deshaun Watson a loss. To me, it's as if they lost Deshaun Watson. With the way that the reporting was starting to go with Shefty and Rapp, the Saints are the front runner. It jumps to Atlanta and just kind of now you're talking about, Winston was playing pretty good ball there, but the gap between Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston on a team that, quite frankly, should be built to win now. That's a championship-level defense. If Teron Armstead was coming back, that's a championship offensive line. You got Alvin Kamara. Who the hell knows what we're going to get from Mike T? But if he
Alvin Kamara just got that
Kamara
criminal lawsuit.
That's what I'm saying. So the Saints are kind of in shape.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he punched a dude in the face.
What was the... Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally an hour after the Pro Bowl.
No, it was the night.
That's okay.
That's
right.
The night before.
Right.
Oh, okay.
They knew of this whole thing. He got
his
they let him play. They let him play, and then all right, come in.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
I don't know if you want to add on to the Saints, but
I would love to add on to the Saints. I swore the way how arrogant this fan base is, how they think that they have one of the best. They quite literally think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. They really do. Even losing Marcus Williams, they legitimately think that slow ass defense that has. They just see Demario Davis and Cameron Jordan and think they have, and they just think our defense is elite. I thought how cocky they were. They were going to start selling Deshaun Watson jerseys at the Albertsons. I swore I thought they were going to do it. They started printing them out. They started sending them, and they didn't get them. And that's what's on my TL a lot. Exactly. And that's what's on my TL a lot is on the Twitter timeline is a lot of Saints stuff because I love their misery. And I love that they get a Super Bowl 2 times a year against us. And it's like, you won, bro. Congrats. Woohoo. Whatever. Don't care. You're not going to be in the playoffs. I literally don't care.
And the first team in history to be back-to-back-to-back should have been champs. Like, that's the banner that these guys are hanging now. It's just disgusting.
And this is where I'm at with them. Every time I turned on First Take, which is very rare now, in preseason, Stephen A. and Max, I swore for 5 years straight, said that the Saints were their favorite out of the NFC. And I'm like, what are y'all watching? What are y'all watching? Yeah. But honestly, in being in Louisiana, it's even better. I got coworkers texting me, how you going to feel when we got Deshaun against the Bucks? I'm like, it ain't done yet.
I've been hearing from Palmer and my brother. They've been ecstatic. And I was like, ain't done yet, brother.
But that one move changes the outlook for them.
Yeah, that's got to make them
when you get a guy like that, on a mediocre roster to me in the Saints, that makes you go all in. Well, not to keep hammering the dead horse, like the Cowboys should be going all in with a franchise quarterback, a young franchise quarterback. You go all in.
100% agree.
Yep.
So with those moves, obviously the Saints haven't had a real cap in like a decade. I don't know where this money is. Like Mickey, it's literally like Bitcoin. Where does it come from?
Sean Payton's fantasy land.
Yeah, it's like, where is this money? They're playing with like...
Sean just takes it and just, I'll put it here. You're good now.
Well, they just like write empty checks and they somehow cash them. But I think they would have gone all in. I think that this affects the Michael Thomas situation greatly.
For sure.
He's already been asking out.
Yep.
And
I don't know if you saw his tweet. That screamed sarcasm to me.
I didn't.
He said
I didn't see it.
Michael Thomas, after Deshaun went to Cleveland, he said, "I don't blame him. Ha ha. # who dat." And I was like, he's out of there. Like, he wants out of there.
Oh, he's gone. He's so gone.
Yeah.
Dude,
that today.
And you know how trash it is for Dennis Allen? Damn. I don't know if you remember this. He was the head coach for the Raiders.
Yeah,
he was the first head coach ever in his first season to have a 500 or above record to ever get fired. And then now he comes into this. He's a gap year coach. Not even a gap year.
Yeah,
you're looking at a gap 2 or 3.
Right.
Cam Jordan's eventually going to move on. Like you said, Tyron Armstead is gone. Who knows where DeMario Davis ends up? I mean, dude, we saw Zadarius Smith get cut, and he's
Jordan's
29.
Long in the tooth. Yeah, like your window is like now. And to your point on,
it's over.
To the point on Dennis Allen, like look at Rich Bisaccia, man. I'm not saying they're the same coach, but like, what else could you have wanted the Raiders to do last year amidst all the John Gruden turmoil? I don't care if they played down the stretch. Like, the Henry Ruggs thing. Yeah, it's a good point. Like, the team made the playoffs, man. Like, and they were like, nah. Like, we never had any intention of hiring you at all. It was all this, like, Derek Carr went to bat for him. The players love him. I'm sure they do, but, like, you just you don't really
He's
have
a foxhole guy.
So
that doesn't mean you're coach.
I do feel for Dennis.
Yeah,
but, the Saints, to me, are one of the biggest losers.
Explain. Well, I don't know if it really needs explaining. I guess people probably understand what that means. But like you said, stopgap guy. That to me, I called Mitch Trubisky a stopgap guy. The signing in Pittsburgh, like that's a 2 to 3 year, until they can find a guy to build around that they want to build around long term. Maybe it
you
turns
went
out
13-3. You went 13-3 with half of Ben Roethlisberger. You might as well try with Mitch.
Right, he got like he got like a modest 2 year.
2 years ago, sorry.
He's young enough to see, like, okay, maybe this guy did learn a lot in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got. Like,
they're just going to kick the tires on it. It's a stop guy. He's a placeholder, But Sands was talking about that for Dennis Allen in New Orleans. It's like they know that he's not going to be their coach of the future, but he's a quality candidate to come in and
and he's in house.
Rally a team to play hard, and so you got to sell a product somehow. I guess at the end of the day, like you got to instill confidence in a fan base.
Yeah. The first
two
on the
bad.
list, Dallas and the Saints, they obviously make me happy because I despise both rosters, both franchises. And number 3, man, I don't mean to tie. I'm not trying to tie all this to Deshaun Watson, but the Falcons weren't very good last year, but they're number 3 on my list. Not only did you not get Deshaun, they're starting us 3 at wide receiver this upcoming year.
Beautiful.
Because Calvin Ridley's
I can get loose in the slot, but
and they lost Russell Gage to us.
Russell Gage
is a buck. Yep.
Calvin Ridley gone. Their number 1 receiver.
It's Kyle Pitts and
respect to Zacchaeus, but like no,
he's an eggplant.
So they lose Deshaun, which all the reporting was that Deshaun was a Falcon today. Like everything I read said Deshaun was a Falcon. Like he told all his boys over there he was going. And I actually believe this, that it was basically done. I think Cleveland came in with this, like, Godfather fully guaranteed, like, here's everything. Let us take your salary to $1 million. And, like, because Shefty and Rapp said that Cleveland was out. Like, them and the Panthers were out. Deshaun literally told them.
I think 2 days ago they said that, too. It wasn't today. It was like
y'all were the ones that told me that. I said that in the text. I was like, okay, so Deshaun's really about to be a Brown, huh? Like, if Baker's seeing the writing on the wall and he's tweeting that cryptic, thank you Cleveland message, which I actually kind of low-key did respect a little bit, just because I know how passionate Baker is. I texted y'all that. Y'all were like, but y'all told me. Y'all were like, nah, Deshaun's, he's ruled Cleveland out. They're out of the picture. So I was like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense.
All these
like,
guys
that roster's ready.
They want Baker to be competitive, and I have no doubt that he's not. But, for the same reasons we're mentioning, that statement that Baker put out is another reason why I list Atlanta as a loser. Not that Matt Ryan is what he used to be, but you just ruffled feathers with your number 1 overall pick, who's kind of been like the face of the Falcons for the last 10, 12 years. And, the talks of the last thing I saw was they're trying to mend the relationship with Matt Ryan now. Like, that's the real that's the risk that you run with playing around with, is it worth it? Absolutely. Is Matt Ryan old enough and smart enough to understand, like, if this franchise has a chance to get a 26-year-old top 5 quarterback, they'd be crazy to not inquire. But now you're ruffling Matt Ryan's feathers. We can all sit here and agree that it's more than time to move on from him already, which I think it is. Like, it's kind of long gone.
Let me tell you.
Remember, they were talking about trading him 2 years ago as well.
Right, and then all they did was restructure his cap, and I'm like, oh, you guys just locked yourself into more.
So you're pushing his money further on down the line?
Dude,
okay,
when you have a guy on your fantasy team like I did, Cordero Patterson, which is one of my best producers this year, And I turn on a Falcons game, and I watched the Chargers with Austin Eckler. I had him.
Yeah.
When I turned on that Falcons game, I was like, this is some bullshit. I will check the fantasy points. I can't watch this shit.
I can't watch first goal from the 3 and Cordero go -1, -2, and then they throw, and it's turnover on downs. Like we're going.
Yeah, and then I had to watch two whole games
goal line fades
with the Bucks.
Yeah.
It was horrific. They're terrible. Yeah, Deshaun, that move by Deshaun was so gangster. Because right when you don't get indicted, he is not innocent. By the way, he still has a civil lawsuit. So there's another thing.
Yeah. Yep.
He just didn't get indicted. When you get that, and the Texans, have all leverage. Have all the leverage. Yep. I'm a franchise guy. I'm the most sought after free agent, arguably. He's basically a free agent, by the way. I know you're not just paying him, but you have to give capital for him. But he's one of the most sought after trade assets, probably of all time.
Ever.
If we're being literally, you're literally talking about the most the most available, openly available. Not just him saying I want to trade. The franchise going, hey, he's on the market. Fucking take him.
And
that shit never happens, bro. Quarterbacks of his caliber at his age don't hit the open market.
Yeah, and I was curious. I was curious to see how all that was going to work, because if a guy is like, I'm only going here, they still do a good job of getting compensated, but you wonder, like, are they squeezing everything out of the orange that they can get? I thought it was dope that the franchise was like, okay, he's going to break it down to 4 teams. I need you to send me an offer. And if we are willing to accept it, then you can meet with Deshaun. Like I thought that part was awesome. Like they had offers on table before he even met, and so you really had all these teams bidding. Deshaun got final say, but like you had to first get an offer that they were going to approve. I thought that was dope by the Texans,
and they didn't. They were not obligated to do that at all. By the way, that's very rare that a franchise actually does that for a player, which is
and they paid him his full salary last year to sit on the couch. Like bro,
very respectable.
So the Texans. You're saying that, okay, I didn't even know that, Chris.
Yeah, he was going and meeting with all the teams, bro.
So the Texans kind of like took
he was a free agent
too, huh?
They had to have an accepted offer on the table because it was up to them whether they want to allow him to meet with another team. He's still on contract.
Right.
The team had to have an accepted offer in place before Houston allowed it. So I thought that was dope.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, man.
I actually did hear some speculation too that the reason that Cleveland hopped back into the discussion wasn't because of the compensation necessarily. It was because of them willing to add some of that extra guaranteed money into his contract. That was the kicker that no other team that was in the bidding war was willing to do, and Cleveland was. And so I respect their aggressive approach to it.
I saw Dan Graziano say that today. Like the contract is what did this. Like don't get it twisted.
Yeah, 100%.
He was actually down to go to Atlanta. For clearly, kind of non-football reasons, it would appear. Because if you're looking at rosters of the teams...
Did y'all tell me someone tweeted that? Like, one of the Falcons players tweeted and deleted it? Was it y'all that was
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
So he thought Deshaun was actually going to be a Falcon.
I'm pretty sure he told everyone he was going to be a Falcon. That's, like, my understanding. Like, it was basically done, is the way I understand it. As, like, I'm a Twitter user. I'm not, I don't talk to Deshaun's sources, obviously. But, like, he was going to be a Falcon. And... Cleveland had to have just, they got the full go-ahead from the Haslams up top, and we're like, give him everything. And honestly, man, I think we'll touch on them in a sec when we get to the winners. But like, you saw like the Russ deal, like 2 1s, 2 2s, and players. Like there was all this talk that the Texans were going to get 3 1s, 2 2s, and significant maybe veteran players. For Cleveland to keep their entire roster intact too, and to just literally add Deshaun. I'm like, Cleveland made out well.
Yeah. So when it was reported, it came out that it said that there was 3 first-rounders and 2 assets.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what assets meant in that. I was like, who are they getting? I know it ain't
You're
Miles
thinking like Denzel Ward and Nick Chubb? Holy shit.
Like something like that. Or at least like a Kareem Hunt and somebody. Like I didn't know, but they didn't give him anything.
None of that, dude.
Crazy.
None of that. But if honestly, if you're the Texans, you don't want to... You're happier with 2 extra picks as opposed to 2 assets with mileage, right? Because you're getting rid of a quarterback like that. you're in rebuild mode, full blown rebuild mode,
like,
which
I like that
is obvious. It kind of goes without saying.
I like that more than Seattle, like, because Houston is very. They've acknowledged the fact that like it's a teardown, like it's a complete teardown.
Yeah.
So give me, to your point, cost controlled rookies who we think can make an instant impact. So now they've got picks 3 and 13 in this year's draft. They're gonna have 2 1s next year, 2 1s the year after that. Like they're set up to you got to get the quarterback right, but like if they suck again, like let's see what we have with Davis Mills. If he's awful, if he's good, okay, like maybe there's a chance. If he's awful, great. This is a great year to be awful because you got Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud sitting there, talking about next year's draft. So Houston's in a dope spot, and now you not only similar to the Eagles, you look at the fact that we have 3 1s. There's no guarantee that all those get cashed in. Like you've got capital to maneuver and move up and down the draft when you add those assets, which is an undersold part of. You can go up and really get your guy if they think Bryce Young is the next coming. You can package a future one now, and you still got a couple left. I think Texas made out as well as they could have, but
before you get to the winners, I wanted to say honorable mention for losers is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Because he has no say. He's probably going to end up on the Seahawks with a garbage-ass roster and who I called orthopedic Rashad Perry and Chris Carson as his running backs who can't stay healthy. So, I mean, good luck to that guy.
I'll be interested to see how much they really work with him. Because he clearly, there was talks of if Atlanta got Deshaun, they were going to really work with Matt Ryan to send him where he wanted to go. Perhaps take a little bit less. I don't think Baker has earned that relationship, especially with this public outcry, which probably is not sitting well with the franchise.
And how Baker acts.
Yeah.
Baker may not answer their phone calls. I'm not joking.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if Seattle gives us a little bit better conversation than the Colts, sorry, dog. Like, they want you. You're out of here. Go ahead. You just say you didn't want to be here. You didn't tell me where, and we don't care where. So, I just think that was interesting, man.
That would have been the best outro to that letter. Sincerely, I would like to go to these 4 teams. Right. This team.
Just
Baker
in, like,
Mayfield.
Print at the
Thank you, Cleveland.
Taji texted me he's going to end up in Houston, and that just would have been hilarious to me if they were like, all right, Baker, you want out? All right, bro. Good luck.
That's what I thought. I thought that's what I would have saw today. Anyways,
but if we want to roll to winners, man.
Let's do that.
I think I didn't put Tampa down just because I think the Brady thing is like, we all know what Brady means to them. They're probably the number 1 winner, honestly, if we're being real. But
I really kind of goes without being said. That one.
Yeah.
No problem, bro.
Talk about him. I just don't want to talk about him, quite frankly. So.
That's disrespectful.
This is kind of
fair enough.
It's kind of chalky, bro. But I went Raiders, Broncos, Chargers, man. Like. I really don't know how
AFC West.
I don't know how you don't go anywhere else, man.
So we had one winner, the AFC West.
So like the Raiders.
One winner.
And maybe, like, not losers because they suck, but like the Chiefs, man, like they watch, like you're not walking over those teams anymore. Like there's no.
Yeah. I was about to say
in that division anymore.
Loser of the offseason.
Dogfight.
Chiefs dynasty.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs honorable mention in there, and the losers for sure.
They still got Patty Mahomes.
Well, so. I mean, they saw vulnerability.
That damn defense.
They should have lost in the AFC in the divisional round. They did lose in the championship round. Like they're seeing a means to an end, or at least like Tom Telesco. I'll use him as an example. The GM of the Chargers, man, he's all in. He's like, okay, these guys are mortal. They're not immortals.
Yep.
We can handle them.
Yep.
Let's go all in while we got a quarterback on a rookie deal still. Let's go sign all pros at 2 different levels of our defense. Adam, throw a Khalil Mack alongside Joey Bosa. We already got Asante Samuel Jr. and Derwin James, first round caliber players there. Let's go and throw in J.C. Jackson, who led the league in interceptions last year. Like I respect the approach.
No, it's dope, man. So, you can tell like as aggressive to a fault as Brandon Staley was. He kind of take them out of a playoff spot at the very end of last year, but. By not taking the tie, but that's neither here nor there.
The 4th and 10 on his own 12, 18, or the hell it was.
But I respect it, man.
That was nuts.
I forgot about that.
That's
crazy.
Dude, I love that though because like that's a guy that they probably interviewed him and he sold them this vision of being aggressive. And when guys get out there on the field, they kind of like regress or they don't call maybe what they think they should to try to appease. Like everyone's like, this guy's crazy for going in on 4th and 10, but he clearly believes like I trust Justin Herbert every single time he drops back. Like, I'm not going to apologize for that. Like, we have one of the best players on the field at all times. Let's use him, man. Like, let's not give the ball to the other team because we've got that dude. And so I respect it, man. Like, to your point, man, they went all in. Yeah, I saw, Landon, you were talking about Tom Telesco. I saw somebody was talking to him about the Khalil Mack trade, and they were like, they asked him who does he think won the trade. Obviously, no GM's going to be like, yeah, I kind of think we gave up too much for him. But
I think we got fleeced.
Yeah, right. But he was like straightforward. He goes, honestly, man, I'm not really here to. I don't care who won the trade. Like, I'm worried about making this team
better. Did we get better?
We got Khalil Mack. I'm worried about making this team better.
Thank you.
Like, and that's
another thing.
So
with the pass rushers that were acquired by the AFC West, and I'm not a football coach. I know I'm always in here with a hat on and a hoodie, so I look like one. I'm not a football coach, but I think we saw. Yeah, and all the analytics say it. That when you contain Patrick Mahomes from playing backyard football, you can stop him pretty damn well if you keep him in that pocket and make him look up the middle of the defense. And I think with those pass rushers, these aren't just like good. They are not great. They are literally top 5 all through there. Top 5 at the position. They're not just good. They're top 5 at their position all through that division. It's insane. They make up all the best pass rushers in the NFL in one division.
Yeah,
other than Aaron Donald.
I said Raiders.
What Sands is saying, y'all, is can you get to the quarterback with a 4-man rush, drop everybody else in coverage, have 7 guys sagging, play zone defense? That literally is the antidote to the modern spread offense.
Yep.
Yes, because he's just going to stand there, and if nobody's getting open, it's a sack, obviously. And sometimes when you do, and some coaches – they say they want to get pressure with 4, but they kind of mush rush against running quarterbacks because they don't want them to go the outside. With these guys, with a Joey Bosa and a Khalil Mack, with a Bradley Chubb, and who do they sign?
Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory. God,
you talking about the Broncos? Yeah.
Yes. When you're talking about those top tier guys, and even the Chiefs got Chris Jones and Frank Clark, but like that's crazy. You're talking about you ain't got a mush rush. They're so quick, fast, so good at what they do. They're going to contain the edge while rushing. And that's what I was talking about with Shaq Barrett. Not to go off, but I talked about this on my podcast about Shaq Barrett, how he contains the outside. He contains the outside while bull rushing almost.
Right.
He's so good. He's containing the quarterback while rushing him right in the tackle's face.
They rush outside, but they move them like on that path, like straight in a line to where they kind of play both. If you want to go out, I'll go with you. You want to go in,
and now with Joseph Day, you're talking about even if you do push him way back or you contain the edge and mush rush, you got a guy if you push him in the middle that's going to be there.
Yeah,
this and J.C. Jackson, bro. This Chargers roster is
loaded,
juiced.
Please make it out of the season.
All they need is a middle linebacker. Because I'm telling you, that is the worst tackling team. I don't even have the stats, but if I did, I know it would be confirmed. Most missed tackles.
Yeah.
It has to be the Chargers. Kenneth Murray is dog shit. I don't know why they believe in him.
He runs fast.
Yeah, he's fast.
Did he play a full season last year? I know he was hurt. He's got injury issues, right? But was he on the field last year? Because he's tiny.
He's a tiny linebacker. Yeah, he was on the field. He probably got hurt here and there. But I'm telling you, that team can't tackle.
Yeah,
so hopefully, I was thinking Bobby would go there, Bobby Wagner, to shore that defense up.
You know, he might still, but to your point, Landon's point about that's the new age. Like, you could almost, and maybe this is aggressive, like saying you could have 4 All-Pro guys in the secondary, but if you're gonna let Pat Mahomes do his bullshit and run around, somebody's getting open, man. Like, it doesn't.
And with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody's getting open. Like, you got to build it. And I say this as an Eagles fan, I guess maybe a little biased there, but the trenches are where it starts, man, on both sides of the football, always. It's always going to start. It starts at the quarterback, and then who is the closest to the quarterback? That's the stuff that matters. And, you touched on, like, we've got Khalil Mack and Bosa now. Like, we've got Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb. And you didn't even touch on the Raiders, who now have Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, dog.
Yes.
Like,
yes, I know.
Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, they are juiced.
That's where I blacked out in my head.
And now it goes beyond Raiders Pat Mahomes because of the quarterback additions that were made. You're going to have to chase Pat. You're going to have to chase Russell Wilson. You're going to have to chase Justin Herbert. Like, they all are on the same alignment. That's why the division's so crazy.
it's wild.
We were talking off air.
They're all competing against each other.
Yeah, like Derek Carr is the worst quarterback in a division in NFL history. I don't need to look it up. I guarantee you that is a fact. He is the worst quarterback in a division in NFL history. I will go on a limb. I'll die on that hill. But they're juiced up.
I think you're probably right.
All these teams, man.
Yeah.
He's a top half of the league quarterback.
What's so fun about watching sports now for so long, like we're getting kind of almost in our 30s, where we've seen evolutions of sports and new rules. Like, remember, we were back when NBA playoff games were ending 79 to 82 still, and now we're getting games that are 140 to 130. The evolution of the quarterback is so preposterous, where you have 6'4" guys to Josh Allen's 6'6", who can run 4.5s and throw the ball 75 yards on the run.
Yeah, off platform.
I don't know if if like you can ever like sketch up a defense.
No chance,
like,
bro.
What are you gonna do?
DBs have no chance.
Yeah.
DBs have no chance.
It's
you just got to have dogs on the line who can win and hopefully get there before their quarterback does what they do. So, yeah, man. I threw the Browns in as honorable mention. You know,
okay.
Got Deshaun Watson,
so this is what I would like to talk about on that. So with the Browns, what they were missing was, I talked about this on my podcast as well today, so that's so fresh in my mind. The Browns now, the thing that they were missing with Baker, so they had the whole team set up. People forget Deshaun Watson had a 24-0 lead on the Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Baker Mayfield beat the COVID Steelers, and Chad Henne was 1 inch away from losing that game. And now, in this season, you saw Baker Mayfield had the ball with a chance to win or tie and kept throwing picks. Yep. Now you have a guy who your game plan isn't like, oh, we got to run the clock out and hopefully Baker can make some throws. It's, okay, let's go out and we can outshoot him. But if we're not running the clock out,
our offense around our quarterback,
and if we get down, we don't have to run 3 times and pray for a play action. Yep. Now we can just go out and throw the ball 45 times if we really want to, even though Kevin Stefanski
play backyard football
won't do that.
Like, we still have the personnel to ground and pound and play from ahead, ideally. But there's going to be games, you have a fluke strip sack and you get down 7, or you have a block punt return for a touchdown. You get in a 7-10-point hold. Now
mostly in those playoff games with those quarterbacks.
You got a guy who can actually go dig you out. So, like, they're going to be even more dangerous because of how balanced they're going to be able to be.
Crazy, dude. That division
we called that roster, I think, probably all 3 of us.
Yeah, they were like
I know for sure I did. I'll speak for myself. I said that's the best roster on paper that I've seen in the NFL heading into last year. And
that was a mad
so just
squad.
With their secondary, mine and Chris's favorite player, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who somehow miraculously slid to day 2. I think he slipped to day 3, actually. Turned into a really, really nice player. He's like a hybrid safety that can also just play in the box and shoot gaps and wreck shit. But he's a beast.
Yeah, his name's so nuts, it has to be an acronym.
Yeah, has to be. J-O-K. But, yeah, man, that's that team. They're my number 1 biggest winner, just because you go and get the biggest free agent, essentially. Yeah. So that's going to be a fun team to watch, man. And not to mention, they also get Amari Cooper. we forget about that one.
Yep.
Like, hello.
I'm waiting to see what other.
Amari.
I'm waiting to see what other target they get if they do go out and get one. I'm really curious what they do there, because I think they need another receiver.
I do too. I definitely do too. And okay, so let's talk about that, just because it's kind of a sexy position to speculate on.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley was cut by the Bills. He's out there. Jarvis Landry is obviously available, but he's not going to be returned to the Browns. He wants out of there.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't now. I don't know.
He's probably thinking, what the hell, man? Like,
maybe not now. Yeah.
I tweeted. I said Odell just booked his flight back to Cleveland.
Yeah, I was thinking about
no
Odell
doubt,
too.
bro.
Is that bridge too burned? Like, I'll be looking at them.
Yeah. So, what are some other notable wide receiver free agents that I'm not mentioning besides Juju?
Juju signed with the Chiefs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wait, he did?
Yeah.
I missed that today too.
Yeah. This dude Landon just became a dad for 3 days and literally doesn't. He's like relying on our group chat for insider information.
Yeah, I've been out of the loop a little bit. So And honestly, with March Madness, we haven't even touched on that. That's gonna probably have to get put on the back burner. But I've been so locked in on that. Texas won today, thank God. All the Chris Beard critics can take. They can shove it. But
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know any other free agents from wide receiver. I'm being dead honest. I only keep up with the top ones because, like, was I aware that James Washington was even a free agent? I'm going to be honest. No, didn't care for him.
Yeah.
The only reason I was is because Des Bryant tweeted like 2 days ago. He said James Washington will be a Cowboy or something like that. So I was like, okay, we'll see.
Solid.
But yeah, let me pull up a list real quick, and then
I might put a fat sack of money that Will Fuller's a Brown. Just cause, everybody's about to connect them dots. He'll give him 3 games and he'll be gone. But I imagine it's going to be a popular prediction now that Deshaun's a Brown. Just cause
and now don't they
showed.
I mean, I think it's going to be cool to see him and Lamar go at it. And that division's going to be fun. Even the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. I don't care what you say about them. Yeah, I forgot. Golly, bro. Like, the Steelers are the Steelers. Dude, people forget Mike Tomlin hadn't been under 500 since he became the Steelers head coach.
That's a championship defense right there.
That team made the playoffs with a corpse under center.
Legit.
Dude, that guy could not. Dude, watching
Hall
him.
Of Famer, but oh my God.
And I love Ben, dude. Yeah, exactly. He's a Hall of Famer, but
when they try to do 7-step drops, it took him 8 seconds to get the ball off. I'm not even kidding.
That was a painful team to watch, man.
All that to throw a 2-yard drag.
His average depth of target was literally negative to Najee Harris the entire season.
Watching them play like some random team you have on your fantasy squad might have been the worst shit you have ever seen. That was the worst. Taji was praying it was PPR. Taji was praying it was PPR, dude. He's like, golly, he has 30 catches and 22 yards, please. It's terrible.
He said, "Damn it, bro! I drafted Najee in the wrong scoring format. Can we run it back, Commish?"
For real.
That was so funny, man.
Wide receivers?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I got the list pulled up.
Oh, they're probably not.
The only other real notable one that we didn't touch on is Allen Robinson, who just signed with the Rams, and then obviously.
Talk about a fake cap, bro.
Mostly for them.
All the cap is fake. All the cap is fake. People are smiling at themselves right now in the mirror. Yeah, wild times. What else? I know there's one other headline that we're not hitting on in the NFL. It's been a wild week.
Did we touch on Tom Brady coming back?
An hour. Yeah, briefly. But if you got more, I'm all for it. I was just going to say one last thing.
Yeah,
the fact that we're an hour 8 in.
I was about to hang up.
Oh, I completely, my bad, bro. I missed that one, right over the top. Yeah, man, we haven't even talked about Russell Wilson really. Chris mentioned it just as far as the division being stacked, but like, that's how wild this week has been.
Yeah,
just with all the
like you said, feels like it's been so long ago. But with them,
that's a badass pickup for them.
Dude, I think it's so funny that he kind of goes to a place that is almost what Seattle dreams it is, right? Yeah. They have a run game with 2 horses. They wish they had 2 horses that could stay healthy. They have a wide receiver that can get the deep ball, like DK Metcalf with Cortland Sutton. They have a dude that is small, fast, and gets open. Jerry Jeudy is on another level. And then you got a KJ Hamler, or AJ, whatever the hell his name is. I mean,
KJ, from Penn State,
I mean, you're talking. That team is going to be so hard to stop. Mostly how good Russ is. He's been balling off play action, and there's nothing to play action. Like they're running into brick walls, and he's still eating off play action. I can't wait to see that offense. And I mean, dude, once again, to say it 1,000th time, that division is insanity.
It's ridiculous, man. We barely even touched on Devontae Adams going to the Raiders, like.
That's
crazy, man.
People forget Darren Waller's on that roster, by the way, and I don't know why. Because he missed this year. Bro, he has Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Devontae Adams. Dude, that is literally like it's a fantasy draft.
It's stacked. It's nice.
This is
really nice.
This is some shit that when you're trolling your friends about free agency and you name all the top free agents signing to your team, like, dude, what if we got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Devontae Adams? And that happened. That literally happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, also, you won't talk about getting fleeced. Packers got fleeced in that trade. Absolutely fleeced. I don't care if it's a receiver. I don't care.
Yeah.
You could have got another player back. Who is Aaron Rodgers throwing to? Alan Lazard?
Right now, Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, as of right now.
It's not good.
And Robert Tunyon's a free agent.
Randall Cobb is the oldest 31-year-old I've ever seen in my freaking life.
His career is toast, unfortunately. I mean, where's Cole Beasley going to go, though? That's another receiver, too. I mean, I'm partial to him, obviously, because he played in Dallas, but he had a great year last year. He showed that he can still be productive.
I think he's good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Like, he's one of the best slots in the league.
He's going to get you. Yeah.
He's good. I'll be interested.
I don't know where he would go, though. He's probably going to end up going to a place where he doesn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cowboys could use a slot receiver.
Yeah.
But Casey actually, dude, she's been on point with her sports takes lately. And I shouldn't be surprised because she listens to all my bullshit. I'm constantly playing sports talk radio. So she probably has everything downloaded and just doesn't even let me know half the time.
Yeah.
But she was like, Cole Beasley's her favorite NFL player to ever play. And in the car just tonight on the way over here, she's like, wait, so Cole Beasley just got cut, but will Jerry even sign him because he's not vaccinated? Like, isn't that part of the reason why Amari Cooper's gone?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And I was like, you know what? I didn't even draw that parallel, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense, So I would love to see that happen, but I don't know if it will, man. I'm not sure where Cole's going to be.
Going to end up on the Falcons, be their best receiver.
Be their number one, man.
Oh, God, R.I.P.
Be their number one.
R.I.P. I guess if you want to go on a 1-year prove-it deal, go get 1,300 yards and 6 or 7 touchdowns. You can get another big bag somewhere else the following year. I don't know. I guess it could make sense.
Final big contract. Yeah, I'll be curious to see where he goes.
I don't know if Matt Ryan can throw for 1,700 yards or 1,300 yards anymore.
You ain't lying, bro. Yeah.
Good, man.
So, hour 15 in, man. Are y'all good to close it out here? Is there anything else that we missed?
Arkansas.
That's pretty broad spectrum for an hour. Like, we actually touched on the entire NFL landscape in a pretty reasonable amount of time.
And we got a good rant out of you, dude. The death slam that you hit. I don't even know if you noticed that you did that. I don't. You looked down like you were trying to find where you were at, like in your life. Like you left space. You left Earth and went into space.
Searching the brain for answers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, oh my God, he's going crazy.
He's gonna have an aneurysm.
I just wish I had answers though, because there's so many things that are going on in my head of just about everything, man. And it's honestly the whole cat and mouse thing with Jerry and Steven. It's just wild. I never know what I'm going to get, but some of the things that they do not make sense. And I have to try and explain it away as if everything is going to be okay. So we'll see.
Well, that was a fun podcast, boys.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, man.
All right, well.
Very, very fun.
I'm going to be the host and end this. Wait, were you going to say something, Chris?
Okay. Do it.
No, I was just going to say we can let the Mavs off the hook. I told you guys earlier, like I was ready. I had you guys see those like apology forms come out sometimes?
Yeah.
I was ready, man. I had the paper fully filled out. All that was waiting was my signature to push the Mavs into the contender category. They've been white hot. Like they probably maybe should already be there. I don't know. I was like, you know what? They mess with Philly tonight. They clamp up Philly. Like I'll bow out. I'll call Philly a pretender. Dallas can take their contender slot. Like, they're legit. They're going to win the West. Like, we don't know about Chris Paul. Like, Golden State, Steph Curry, Dallas going all the way.
Man, look at the bro. That would have made my day if you actually said that. But we laid
and then James clamped up. Luka shot 5 for 20, and here we are, bro. Like, I can't put him in there. So
Yeah.
It is what it
They'll
is.
never
Mavs
make
fans,
it.
I'm sorry.
They gave all their energy on the road to Boston, winning at the Garden and winning
the Nets
on the
game
road.
Took a lot. For sure.
At the Nets, yeah. So
they're 28-7 their last 35, I believe, though. So
yeah.
Hey,
talk about white hot, man. That's white hot.
So
since we're on the NBA topic, I'm going to go ahead and say this on air right now. I don't know how many people will listen this far, but it is on record. I want to be more punctual about, I don't know if you guys are, I haven't even presented this idea to y'all, but big matchups, like especially when the Heat, the Mavs, or the Sixers are involved, down the stretch, man, we got to get like a 10 to 15 minute pod preview just on big games with playoff implications. So sure. I would love to do that if you guys are down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Down for that for sure.
Just like on the spot. I know it's tough to all be on the same schedule as far as free time goes, but especially with me, I got a 3-day-old child in the other room.
Little Hagen.
We'll see how that goes. But for now, it sounds like a great plan.
Yeah,
so.
Down for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, is it time to end this? I'm ending it. I'm the host now. Thank you all for tuning in. Go listen to my podcast. I'm selfish, and I hope y'all have a great time listening to this pod. And thank y'all for listening and support, man. We are out.
Peace.
Dude.
Biz.